Hi everybody, it's Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violin. So today's another play along video, and today we're going to be covering Long, Long Ago from Suzuki Book 2. So remember, we are currently doing a Suzuki series, and we're running out of songs, but every week we throw the dartboard destiny there. It determines what Suzuki song we're going to do. We're currently covering book 1 through 4, and today's just, we're doing Long, Long Ago. So at the end of this video, I'm going to throw a dart, and it's going to decide what we're going to do for next week. So let's get on to Long, Long Ago. And that's that. Okay, so let's talk about the easy stuff first. We are in the key of G major, so we have 1 sharp. So what does that mean for our finger pattern? Well, it means that all our fingers are mostly in the natural position. Our second finger is going to be high on the G string, right? It's going to be high on the D string. It's going to be low on the A string and low on the E string. So remember, when we have a high second finger, our second finger must touch the third finger, right? If we have that down. So the second finger can either be low, touching the first finger, or high, touching the third finger. So high, high, low, low. Okay, so let's talk about the rhythm a little bit. Okay, so we are in common time. That's that C right there. So that means 4/4. So that means the quarter note gets the beat. We have the equivalent of 4 beats per measure, or 4 quarter notes per measure. And yeah, so pretty simple. So let me just play a few excerpts here with the metronome, so you have an idea of how it fits with the metronome, in case you wanted to know. Okay, so I'm going to put the metronome on 80, right? So that's a quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. So here's the first line with the metronome. One, 2. Half note. Half note. Let's go on. Half note. Rest, rest. Okay, so that's that. Pretty simple rhythm. Okay, so now let's just play a little bit of the second part. It's just all 8th notes, right? So nothing complicated about it. Okay, so that's about that. I don't have to play through the whole thing. I think you guys get it. Okay, so let's talk about a couple aspects that you just got to remember. So if you're playing this piece in book 2, there's probably quite a few things that are kind of new to you. So let's talk about those a little bit. Okay, so the last measure of the second line, we have that third finger, that G natural, right? Now that note is a down bow, but wait, the next line starts also down bow, okay? So it's just really important that you make sure that you're starting in the lower part of the bow when you do that retake. So the last note will be rest, rest, right? So make sure you pick up your bow and you go back to the lower part of the bow. Rest, rest. Right? Actually, I played the wrong note. Right? So again, it's in. rest, rest. Right? So every time you have a down followed by another down, it's just really important that when you retake, you do that circle bow, whatever you want to call it, that you put that bow back in the lower part of the bow so you don't just start sneaking up, you know, the bow, and before you know it, you're at the tip, right? Okay, so the other thing that you really want to pay attention to, this is important, Suzuki, remember, they're always trying to teach you a new skill, pretty much, whenever they give you a song. Now, with the variation, they're trying to teach you bow management. They're trying to teach you staccato and also to be managing your bow speed well and being in control of your bow in terms of like, where are you in the bow? So, for example, we have... So, first of all, make sure with these staccatos, right, that's those dots on those, the third and fourth, eighth notes of that 4-note figure, right? Make sure that you stop your bow so it's so the notes are short. So stop your bow and you'll be fine. Stop. 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 Right? As long as you practice it nice and slow, then you'll get the hang of it. Just make sure you stop your bow. The other thing is, every time you have an up-up, make sure the up-up puts you back in the lower part of the bow where you want to start your down bow. Okay? Again, make sure you, every time you have the up-up, you go back to the same spot, the same exact spot in the bow every time. Otherwise, you're going to start wandering higher and higher in the bow. So, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right? Every time. So when you're practicing that nice and slow, just make sure, number one, you're stopping your bow for those staccatos, and number two, you're always going back to the same spot in the bow. So you're playing this in the lower part of the bow, and you're always using the same exact amount of bow for every note. So every bow stroke. Here's what it looks like if I do a bad job managing my bow. See how I ended up here? We don't want to do that. Okay, that's about it for the articulation and bow management, right? You want to make sure you just do a really good job with these simple things, right? Because, you know you could probably just crash through it, and you could play the tune and it would be recognizable, but why cheat yourself? Just, learn the fundamental skills that they're trying to teach you, practice it correctly, and then the rest of the songs will not only be easier, but you'll be a better violinist. And there'll be a lot more songs that you'll be able to play. Why? Because you have the skill, right? So the last thing that I'll mention is dynamics. The dynamics aren't particularly complex or difficult, but we have basically 3 dynamics, right? So we have mezzo forte, medium loud in the beginning. Then we have a diminuendo to the piano, the last measure of the second line. And then all of a sudden, in the beginning of the third line, we have forte, right? So your job is to try to create as much contrast as possible between dynamics, right? So when you have a piano, really try to make the piano way different than the forte. It's not only cool sounding, but you're teaching yourself bow control, right? So if I start second to last measure, second line, so get down to piano, then forte, piano, forte again. And remember, whenever we're playing louder, we use more bow and we press harder, right? It's always the same. More bow, press harder. Piano, less bow, don't press as hard. Same thing, right? So your ability to control your speed and your weight will determine how good your dynamics are and how exciting you can make a particular piece. Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way. Just hit that like, just hit the like and subscribe to the channel. I do videos every week, sometimes multiple videos, so why not subscribe, right? And don't forget to put something in the comments if you need to. So let's see what our song for next week is going to be. I'm going to throw a dart at the dartboard destiny, and let's find out. Okay, I have my weapon in hand. Let's see if I can impale some small marsupials along the way. Hopefully not. They're awfully cute, especially at night. Okay. Okay, we have book 1, another book 1 piece. So one of these days we have one book 4 piece left. So anyways, book 1 Andantino. Book 1 Andantino. Okay. So if you guys want to prepare for that piece next week, that's what we'll be doing. Book 1 Andantino. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions or comments, don't forget to put them in the comments below. I answer pretty much every comment that a person puts down, especially if I can understand it. So with that, I hope you guys have a happy time practicing, and have a great day.